I feel that in my country, it is a topic which is sort of a taboo, and uh, we are very reluctant, hesitant to talk about mental health, primarily because there's a lot of stigma attached to it.
Hi, my name is Gauri Jahan and I'm a public speaker and content creator.
So hi everyone, I'm Jitesh Khanna. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a social activist. I have been talking a lot about mental health awareness actually.
My name is Kalyani. I'm a life skills trainer and I basically train people who are working on the issues of domestic violence and substance abuse.
Hi everyone, I'm Mitali Jaiswal, a life coach and a professional counselor. I have been working with a lot of NGOs from last 6 years.
I've been working for about 30 years now.
My name is Rahul Jain. I am HR professional and I'm also a certified coach and mentor.
My name is Shubham and I'm the founder of Being Chef.
Yeah, namaskar friends. This is Sumit Ponda, chairman of the Red Rose Group of Schools and Colleges.
Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Vinay. I work as a creative head in a company that deals with games, creating games for the purposes of HR and recruitment.
I am also an author who has come up with a book called Life of Being HR.
We not only deal with patients suffering from depression, anxiety, overwhelm, death traumas.
I have an industry-wide experience in HR and in just developing games for the last 5-6 years.
We also help people who are trying to find their goals, find their purpose in life, and also trying to achieve goals that they have decided for themselves.
Find it hard to identify ourselves with mental health is the stigma surrounding it, especially in our culture. Mental health is not really viewed as an actual disease, right?
The reason would be stigma, which we all are aware of.
Spreading awareness about the mental health is so important at this time.
The moment somebody knows that somebody has an issue related to mental health, they are marginalized, they are stigmatized, they are looked down upon in our society. Not just in our society, I would say the world over.
Every day we read in the newspapers that people in India, more and more people in India are committing suicides. They are facing breakdowns. They're facing challenges in meeting their day-to-day activities.
One thing that always affected me and which, kind of also is something which is very common these days. And I used to be really bothered when I used to see people suffering from some or the other mental health issues. And people don't talk about it very openly.
It's like something is wrong with them and they can't perform well on their own. They don't have the skills or they don't have the coping capacities to, deal with stresses and tensions and many more things.
They tend to kind of hide it. They tend to, kind of ignore it. They live in a denial. And because of which, the issue gets more and more deepened. And
it's easy for us to tell people, hey, I got COVID, but it's hard to tell people I have mental health issues, which is also a physiological and psychological issue. It's actually a clinical and scientific issue.
We treat mental health illness as something that's not to be associated with ourselves. And the reason for that is because society never accepted it.
So in our day-to-day life, we come across, lots of issues which is related to our physical health. So somebody might have, fever or pain or something, and it's very easy, very normal.
In any of your body part, you go and consult a doctor, you go and consult a specialist, and you try to solve it out. Similarly, brain is also one of your body part, but people tend to kind of live in a denial in which they don't accept that they are going through some of the other issues, primarily because they think that, what will other people say about me?
When it comes to, say, mental health, people do not know, like, what to do and where to go, whom to speak.
Even if you take treatment, for example, or, consulting a psychologist, not even a psychiatrist, because psychiatrist is still a no-no. It's a big deal because people feel you can go for other ailments to doctors, but not a psychiatrist, because it's like pagal koi na.
The one question that I always receive from my clients is, please don't treat me as a patient. please don't treat me as a patient. It's not only the society that is stigmatizing these people, but also the people themselves.
Because of the entire environmental or societal pressure or societal condition, or that entire fear, they tend to kind of ignore it. They tend to not accept the entire turmoil in their emotions, turmoil in their thought process, which is happening around.
The judgment is not only coming from the society, but we judge ourselves.
But even psychologists who can help you with emotional balance, or when you're not feeling good or you're feeling a little depressed, you want to talk about your problems.
We cannot cope up with this situation. We cannot cope up with our own expectations. We fall short on our own expectations. And that sort of weighs us down.
पहली चीज जो मैंने अपनी लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंस की है वो ये है, कई बार हमें खुद ही नहीं पता होता कि एग्जैक्टली जो हमारे साथ हो रहा है वो क्या हो रहा है.
I would say especially youngsters, there is this issue of not being financially sound.
I speak very freely about it because I myself have OCD, and I've been able to manage it for a long time with therapy, with medication.
When I was talking to my daughter when she was in hostel, and the kind of life she had, and she actually told me this, that a lot of her friends were facing problems because they had come out for the first time away from their families, since most of us grew up in very protected environments, and they were facing a lot of emotional turmoil.
There are a lot of people in our country who have mental health issues. They know about it, but they don't take help because of the social stigma attached to it.
कई बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमें मेंटल हेल्थ पर बात नहीं करनी चाहिए. We need not to talk about our problems, feelings, emotions. No, it's actually very important that this is a kind of the problems like schizophrenia, bipolar, and all these all are not only words.
But of course, their parents would not let them seek counseling. They were adults, so they could do it on their own, but they were not financially sound. Because you see, each sitting would say cost about 1,500 rupees or something like that. So I think for students, even that's a very big issue, since they are not, financially independent.
It is not shameful. It is not something to be ashamed of. Okay, I need help. Go out and yell. Go out and yell to your partner, your life partner, your friend, your family, your son, your daughter, your mother, anybody. ऐसे मौके पे हमें सबसे ज़्यादा क्या होता है पता है? कोई सुनने वाला मिलना चाहिए.
A lot of people I meet who have borderline issues, who have major issues, and one of the reasons that they don't go ahead with it is that they feel that they'll be alienated in the society.
Will there be a person who will listen without being judgmental to me? That's another question which is there. And most commonly, people give advice to someone who is going through a mental health issue. Just be happy,
There are specialists that you can consult. See, traditionally, I think a lot of, emotional support was being given by members in the family, joint family system, and things like that. But now a lot of us are also living in nuclear families, or our elders are not present with us.
Take walk, do meditation, listen to music, meet with friends. So there are certain general advice which is ready-made, which is available with people, and then they do not acknowledge the mental health issue, and they simply give you a very common advice without realizing that the person a person's issues can be much deeper.
I'm not saying it's not good to consult elders or people in the family, but sometimes I feel you also need specialists to take care of things. It's not that always common people can take care of your issues, because it could really be a big those issues could just be the beginning of something bigger which is happening. And I think there are you need psychologists, you need psychiatrists to identify problem, and maybe even medication could be required.
हमें ये टर्म्स के बारे में तो पता होता है कि हाँ ये एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, लेकिन अगर कोई फर्स्ट टाइम इन चीजों को फेस कर रहा है तो हम खुद ही अवेयर नहीं होते कि मेरे साथ एग्जैक्टली हो क्या रहा है, क्यों ये दिमाग में ऐसे थॉट्स आ रहे हैं जिन्हें संभालना मेरे लिए मुश्किल हो जा रहा है. शुरू स्ट्रेस से होता है.
After pandemic, a lot of people have had mental health challenges, and they have not been very vocal about it. People have been lonely, people have been depressed, people have been suicidal. If you see in India, a lot of youth commit suicide, and if you check the issues are very very small issues.
Women and girls are not, really tuned or geared to seek help very easily. They take a lot of burden of others, physical, mental, emotional burdens, social. But when they need help, I think others don't take them seriously also.
So this primarily is something that we need to really address, because post this pandemic, another pandemic that is going to really hit our country is, or the world at large, is loneliness, is alienation, is the sense of not being connected with people.
It's like, thoda aaram kar lo, thoda shopping kar lo, you'll feel fine. If you're feeling disturbed, they'll play it down. I think the emotional issues are not really given that much of importance, and more so, I think women are not really, they don't ask for help and they don't get the help also. This is my very personal feeling coming from a women's organization.
Whenever we are actually seeing that the changes in our behavior, moods, and we are not actually able to take care of them ourselves, so we should go to any therapist, a licensed therapist, and a person who can help us to overcome all these issues.
It's that macho image they always carry, that nothing is wrong with me, nothing can bother me, I'm not supposed to be expressing my emotions, or I'm strong. That inner strength may not be there for them to cope with things. And the stresses, affect all of us equally. But the women may not access them because they are not given that, and men may feel that it's below their dignity to access these kind of things.
Though we are in an information age where we're connected with everyone, but if you actually see, we are becoming lonelier as a species. So one of the primary things that we need to really, really focus on is talking about mental health. It's about mental health awareness.
I feel when we talk of brain in common parlance or common understanding, it's more to do with your intelligence, cognitive abilities. People relate, somebody is very brainy, which means that somebody is more intelligent and performs well in exams or scores well or something like that. But I think a lot of us don't associate brains with emotional intelligence or emotional quotient or emotional well-being, I think.
Why is brain not considered part of our body? We go through spondylitis and we handle it. We have migraine issue. Some people have cancer. Some people have other diseases, and we all are accepting of it. There are medicines for it. There is a treatment for it. People spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees on their treatment. Yet when it comes to their brain, somehow, the mental health is not considered worth spending on, worth accepting it or treating it. Instead of people rely on talking to friends, family, and again being judged by them.
I know a lot of doctors are doing like advanced research in it, but there is this lack of misunderstanding of how really the brain functions. Like, for example, why do you dream, and why do you how do thoughts work and stuff like that. It's a very advanced topic that not many of us understand. So we don't, the things I think we don't really understand, we kind of tend to treat it as something external, even though it's part of our body.
A lot of our mental health issues are to do with emotions, so how you express them, how you handle, even for that matter, even stresses. It's not only physical. A lot of it has to do with mental and emotional well-being.
The new research that has shown is that brain not only have emotions and memories, but also brain also stores those memories in the body. So people going through a heart transplant also have their emotion transferred from the donor to the recipient, because emotions are one of the biggest reasons a lot of people suffer through mental illness. Lot of pent-up emotions.
And I feel like because of that lack of understanding, we don't really know how to address our brain and identify it as part of our body.
So through therapies like EFT, CBT, we help clients handle that.
बहुत सारे ऐसे मेंटल एक्चुअली पेशेंट्स को आई हैव सीन जो बाहर आ चुके हैं completely after taking help of our licensed therapists and life coaches, psychiatrists, psychologists. So you can go and take help.
I think social media also plays a very key role in which a lot of young kids, they don't get the maturity at the right age. They tend to believe that they're mature enough, but actually they're quite naive, they're quite immature, and because of which the entire whenever you go out away from the reality, it tends to take you in a very virtual world.
So many times you will have mental health issues, but you are so reluctant to talk about, you're so shy to talk about it, or you are so fearful to talk about it that it is not addressed. But when you talk about it, not only you help yourself, but you help a lot of other people who are going through the same issues to come ahead and talk about it.
And that virtual world also leads to a lot of expectation, which if not fulfilled, then you tend to pressurize yourself, you tend to think negative about yourself, you become underconfident, and then you isolate yourself from the rest of the world and get into the entire circle of mental health issues.
I think the very core of our life is to be happy. And when you're fighting through mental health issues, you're fighting through your own demons within, your own challenges within, it's very difficult for a person to be happy. And if you're not a happy person, how would you be able to make others happy around you? So I think for us, it is very, very important to take care of our mental health. Even if you're fine, it is always good to go for therapy for issues.
Be non-judgmental. If you come across any mental health patient or a person suffering through depression or anxiety, please be compassionate to them.
Relate with others, help others. We do see people in our families, in the communities around. I think it's time that we start extending our hand. If we recognize that somebody is not okay or not feeling, doesn't feel like interacting, or is really withdrawn or something like that, I think we as individuals should not really be so into ourselves. We should actually be extending our hand of support.
Be kind to one another, especially when it comes to mental health. It's hard to kind of understand or grasp this. It's almost like a new science that people are still figuring out, even though years of studies have been done about the brain and stuff. Mental health issues are actually related to your brain. It is scientific. There are various scientific reasons that, and there's a lot of study pending, yes, but the way a person can have diabetes is the same way a person can have mental health issues.
Please be compassionate to them and non-judgmental, because only then we can truly have a wholesome society with all kind of people. By not alienating them, we are bringing more to the world than anything else, because we all go through this, right, at some point. So why be judgmental?
In the West, it's a big thing where people actually go for therapy sessions a lot, which helps them a lot. So sometimes it's just you go to a mental health practitioner and you talk about your issues. Just by venting out your problems, a lot of things work out.
कि आप अपने अंदर अपनी बुद्धियों को ले करके बिल्कुल परेशान ना हो, अपने आप को किसी हीन भावना से, किसी inferiority complex से ग्रसित ना होने दें.
To give an example, my mom is a schizophrenia patient. I had clinical depression from 2014 to about 2016, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just sometimes different types of trauma and different experiences in life. It could be a bad breakup, it could be anything. It could just be as simple as high exertion because of studies and the tension that teenagers go through, for example, before their boards, can cause depression, right? Or just stress, and stress controls your body, right? So mental health is very important. Pay attention to mental health.
Let's talk about mental health issues. Let's go ahead and talk about what we are going through, what others are going through, and let's not take it as a stigma. Let's not take it as a way to alienate people. I think it's all the more we need in this time of crisis. We need to talk about mental health issues.
Helping others to live a better life, a fuller life, a happy life.
Accept, acknowledge, find out, the solution that I require help.
Life comes with a lot of uncertainty, and we have to accept whatever is happening in our life. At the same time, we also have to be confident. We also have to be, kind of optimistic about the future.
Be sensitive to others, right? Try and understand someone. I feel like in our culture, especially in our Indian culture, we tend to demonize people and use insensitive words like, mad person or spastic or stuff like that, which is not acceptable, and that's not okay, especially with someone. And if someone comes and shares and says they think they're going through mental health issues, I would just say, just be kind, hear them out, suggest that they kind of visit a psychiatrist, or try and help them out and be a little more accepting of their struggle. Try and listen to them. More than anything, I feel like if you listen to someone who is having mental health issues, it helps more than you realize.
ये जीवन है, एक ही बार मिलता है. जितने स्वस्थ तरीके से फिजिकली अकेला नहीं, मेंटल स्वास्थ्य भी जरूरी है. मेंटली जब तक हम स्वस्थ नहीं होंगे, इस जीवन को इसकी पूरी कैपेसिटी के साथ नहीं जी पाएंगे. सोचिए, बात करिए, मदद मांगिए और खुशहाल जीवन जीने की तरफ अपना कदम बढ़ाइए.